What's going on, Jeromes? Beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up, Christian Augustine. Who do you think has a better season next year between Darnold and JJ? Well, I think it's going to be relative because black and white stats-wise, like JJ may have like worse numbers than Darnold either this year or next year, but the Vikings as a team could have a ton of success, and the offense could be more efficient, etc. But I am concerned about Darnold with the Seahawks, where, I mean, getting rid of DK, that's a big loss, and Darnold does need receivers who can get separation. You got JSN, which is great. Cup, I don't know. And the Seahawks offensive line, I don't trust it. Outside of Cross, like, there's not really much you can hang your hat on. And as we've seen from Darnold, like, if you can get pressure on him, sometimes it's not great. So hopefully Seattle does some things in the draft to get him some protection, as well as, you know, maybe getting him outside threat. Otherwise, it could be a tough season for Darnold. And remember, for all the reasons why Darnold was successful last year, because of the weapons and the coaching, J.J. McCarthy gets that this year. So I think that could be the differentiation between the two. Next, A. Truckin. Do you think Okudah and Rondale Moore make the 53? Yes, I think they both do. Where Rondale probably has a better shot right now on paper, as you probably pencil him as a wide receiver 3-4. Plus, numerology podcast coming soon. He did take number 4, which was Brandon Powell's last year, so it means that Powell's probably gone, and you could put Moore in as both returnmen. Now, health is a big issue. Like, if he makes it through training camp preseason healthy, I think that he obviously makes the 53 and is a big-time impact. And Okudah, depending on if the Vikings spend top-tier draft capital on a corner, say that greatly impacts Okudah's chances, because say they spend a first-round pick on Ravel or Morrison or Ezra Thomas or Hairston or whoever at corner, and then obviously that guy's taking up a roster spot, then Okudah could get dicey. But as is right now, Murph and Rodgers, Blackman, probably going to be your pencil as your top 3. Newton McLaughlin is going to be feisty. Tavier Thomas is making the roster as a special teamer minimum. So maybe the Vikings carry 6 corners, and right now Okudah, you could make a case that he's cornerback 6. Probably has the most to prove. I think that there is some flexibility where he could potentially move to safety. I think there's a lot of physical traits that make sense there. But, I mean, Okudah, I mean, that Achilles really sucked back in the day. It really set behind his career, but I think he does have a chance to bounce back. As of right now, again, I would say Rondale has the best chance, but Okudah definitely has a puncher's chance. But if the Vikings spend a first or third round pick on corner, that greatly impacts things. Next, Baby Pluto. Since JJ didn't play any regular season games, he's eligible for Offensive Rookie of the Year award next year. Not to my understanding, I don't think he is. It's not like the NBA, but I believe he obviously is firmly eligible for Comeback Player of the Year. So come back from the meniscus and, you know, not playing as a rookie, and then all of a sudden he just comes out and rips the cover off the ball, becomes a top 7 quarterback. Be good. Might have to empty Jelly Beans a budget on that one. So offensive player, maybe Offensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. There you go. Skull for Life. Who is your sleeper this year? Blackman out of nowhere would be insane. So Blackman's a good one. Walter Rouse as well as Jalen Redmond. And with Rouse, they obviously like him at guard. You know, they tried him at guard during training camp. There's talk about him kicking to right guard in that competition with Ed Ingram and Dalton Reisner. And I think, absent the Vikings taking a guard in the first round, I think Rouse could have a puncher's chance of securing that left guard spot, where, you know, left tackle throughout his time at Stanford, at Oklahoma, reducing inside. Darrisaw and Rouse, I mean, that's a lot of size and physicality on that side of the line, man. And competing with Brandel, Michael Jurgens, I mean, it could be a little something there. Also defensively, so even with Allen and Hargrave, I mean, they brought back Jalen Redmond. Good things happened whenever 61 was on the field last year, and I think that he'll still be involved because Flores, Marcus Dixon, they rave about him, and every time he's on the field, good things happen, right? So I think that being able to get his own pass rush in concert with Allen and Hargrave, I think Redmond's going to carve out a spot. Plus Blackman, remember Blackman was supposed to start last year before he tore his ACL. So it could be a spot where your trio of cornerbacks is Murph starting and then kicking into the slot in sub package, Rodgers and Blackman. Those could be your first three corners off of the sideline. Lastly, Is drafting another quarterback possible in the later rounds? So right now, the Vikings only have McCarthy and Brett Rippon. Now, we are recording this a couple days in advance, so maybe the Vikings sign Tannehill or Flacco before this. Who knows? But I think it could be a possibility, even though the Vikings are short on draft picks. They also could go hard in the paint to find a UDFA quarterback to try and develop. But in terms of day 3, you look at guys like Kyle McCord from Syracuse, who, again, ties with J.J. McCarthy at Ohio State. It's funny. Gabriel, Rourke, Leonard, Brosmer. Interesting because of the local angle. Brady Cook has a lot of physical athletic ability. It could be a decent long-term project. Will Rogers from Washington. So, I mean, there are going to be options, except nothing's like... There is no Joe Milton III in this year's draft class. Just the complete low-risk, high-upside type guy. I don't think there is that guy in this year's quarterback class. But could the Vikings, if they trade back from like the 5th or 6th and get a 7th, maybe, or either that or just go the priority UDFA route. So we'll see. Anyways, that's it. Q&A this beautiful day. You guys are the absolute best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.